Welcome to the 5 on 5. We are pleased to be joined today by John Watt, analyst and lobbyist, here to talk about the current legislative session. John, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for the invitation, Kristen.
So how much longer do we have in this legislative session? Kind of up in the air?
Yeah, it really is. Constitutionally, the session has to be over by the 10th of July. So that gives them just about 6 more weeks to work.
Okay. Is the main body of work completed, or is there still a lot more to do?
Well, I'll tell you what, this is really backloaded. The main body of work has yet to be addressed in the sessions, if you will, I mean in the floor session. A lot of conversation behind the scenes. Oregon requires a balanced budget, so that's extremely important. Very little has been done on the major budget so far, so time is short.
Okay. What's maybe been the most unique about this session?
Well, I would say the most unique is that with the latest revenue report that came out on the 17th of May, we see that Oregon has raised more revenues almost by 40% over what they've raised in the previous biennium. But still, we're $1.4 billion short of being able to fund the programs that the legislature is being asked to fund.
Mm-hmm. What worries you the most about Oregon?
Well, there are 3 things right now that are very, very important that need to happen during this legislative session. They need to balance the budget. That's constitutional. That absolutely has to happen. The second thing is that revenue issue. There are proposals to raise corporate gross receipts tax, and there also need to fund the Medicaid program, so there's a provider tax that's being asked hospitals to pay. And then finally, the third thing is a transportation package. Oregon's roads and bridges are in disrepair, as roads and bridges are throughout the entire country. So something needs to be done about that. We're also looking into our crystal ball and seeing that we need to prepare for a Cascadia subduction event that is it's in all the papers and on the TV. So we need to be prepared for that. So those 3 things are still in limbo virtually. I'm extremely concerned about that.
How do you think that might pan out?
Well, it's hard to say right at this point in time. The transportation package has been discussed ever since the beginning of session. The bill hasn't been published yet. It's likely to be a 400 or 500 page bill, so it's going to take a lot of time to go through it. And again, time is very, very short. So those major things that I mentioned really haven't had public discourse, and that's very troubling.
Well, we've got much more to talk about, John, but we're going to take a quick break.
Kristen.
We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome back. We are pleased to be joined once again by John Watt, analyst and lobbyist, talking about the current legislative session. John, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for the invitation.
What do you feel that voters wanted most out of this session?
Hard question. You know, it depends on a variety of factors. Depends on who you're talking to. I think that voters want stability in Oregon. I think they want certainty in Oregon. Most all of my clients are business clients. And the things that's been of greatest concern to them is uncertainty as they move forward for running their business, for expanding their business. If you don't know what the revenue outlook is going to be or taxes, it's very, very hard to do that. I think the voters want Oregon to stay unique. We live in a beautiful, beautiful place, and we're growing. And along with that growth comes the problems that a lot of other states have. So I think it's pretty safe to say that the voters are concerned right now. They want to see leadership. They want to see vision from their leaders. And unfortunately, I just don't think that's happening right now.
As far as the current climate in Salem, has there been some areas of surprising agreement, or is there a lot of partisanship taking place?
Well, This has been a good session with regard to bipartisan efforts. But I think to answer your question directly, there haven't been a lot of bipartisan agreements to come out yet, which goes back to the very thing that I said. The most important things that are left on the table are the things that we don't have public discussions on right now.
And like you said, time is ticking, time is of the essence.
Absolutely.
That July date is coming very quickly.
Absolutely.
John, thanks so much for being here.
All right, Kristen, thank you.
We'll be right back.